you're in a, government building.
I've done it
You're in a public
500
setting.
times all over the place. I know.
Where are you from?
I'm from Florida, actually.
What part? I can tell.
Central Florida.
Okay, like Orlando area? Or?
Yeah, a little bit north there, but yeah, right around that area.
Yeah, I just noticed you don't have the Georgia accent.
Yes, sir. I wish I did. It's beautiful country up here. A lot better than some of that stuff we got down there, I'll tell you that. It's too flat down there. Flat and swampy.
No.
Yeah. I like a little bit of hills. I like the mountains of northern Georgia.
So if you don't want yourself recorded or your private information recorded, you may want to leave.
I find this hilarious because the state of Florida, the DMV, made $77 million selling people's personal information.
What you mean?
Well, what happens is, I don't know if Georgia does it, but in the state of Florida, it's the same thing. DMV, come in, personal information, yada, 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 and they try to say, well, we don't want you in here because people's personal information. Now, that doesn't fly. But on the backside, the state got caught selling $77 million worth of people's personal information to credit collectors. See, because what happens is when you don't own your house, you move around or whatever, and you rent, bill collectors can't find you because they can't find you on the tax deeds. So what they do is they go to the DMV, because every time you move, you got 10 days to transfer your license over. So that's how that's how bill collectors keep catching up with people. They buy the information from the DMV. Yeah, check it out. You can Google it. $77 million, Florida DMV. Yeah. So, it's, a lot of times, same thing with banks. I don't know if you heard about the breach at like Citigroup or Citibank. One of the employees sold like 3 million people's information to identity theft. You know what I mean? So it's usually the people that work in the system that are the ones doing that kind of stuff. But it's nice to try to deflect it off somebody else. The way I look at it is, if everybody's doing what they should be doing, I come in with a camera, I'm in and I'm out in a couple of minutes, I look at the walls, I look at the decorations, and I'm gone. Then people start acting nervous.
What do you do this? Is it just like personal research or something?
It's a civic duty. It's a civic duty for us to keep track of what the government does in our name and our money. And I know you see it on the news a lot.
Do you have a YouTube channel or something?
Yes, sir, I do. I got 4 of them, actually. What happens is that nobody watches the government because a lot of Americans just say, oh, well, it's the government. They'll take care of it themselves. And then we see news reports of this guy pilfering money, that lady pilfering money, and, this person doing this or doing that or whatever. I mean, I just posted a video the other day, deputy, it's so funny, driving drunk, pulls off to the side of the interstate. Okay, it's a crew cab truck. He's off duty. Gets in the back with a lady. They're naked in the back on the side of the interstate with the emergency blinkers flashing. Florida State Trooper pulls up behind him, gets out, has him question him, whatever. Guy's almost falling over drunk, so he's got to arrest him. But I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Now he got suspended with pay, for drunk driving. And citizens see that kind of stuff, and it upsets them.
It's disheartening.
It is, because if I go out there and I'm drunk driving, not only do I not get a vacation with pay, but I'm in the slammer for 30 days, you know what I mean? So there's a disconnect there, and we're trying to bridge that by, letting people know that we have rights and it's okay to use those rights. And if you're not doing anything wrong, then it really shouldn't matter, It's the same thing that the police use, when they pull people over. If you're not, you act nervous, you got something to hide. I feel the same way about government. If you act nervous, you got something to hide.
I got you.
So.
All right.
Yeah, here. Let me stand up. My YouTube channel's right there. Rogue Nation. Yeah, you can check it out. I've got over 500 videos up, and they're all in public buildings, state buildings, DMVs, prisons, jails, sheriff's offices. I've been to almost every county in Florida. I've been to 2 in Georgia and 1 in Alabama.
Has anybody ever treated you?
Less than nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been arrested twice doing it. Once outside of the Orange County Jail. They arrested me. Charges were dropped in a week, and we got a lawsuit on them. And one time at the port of Tampa, where they book for the Carnival cruises. Mm-hmm. You'd think, photographing should be normal, right? No, they arrested me.
Were they charged with loitering?
trespassing.
Okay.
And that is still in the process of going through court right now. But it should be dismissed. They don't really have a leg to stand on. I got the statutes. I got the contract between Carnival and the Port of Tampa, which the Port of Tampa is a state entity. So yeah, this is definitely not my first rodeo. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I enjoy the law. I read law. Old law books is what I collect.
Obviously, I noticed that you quoted a couple statutes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love the law, and I expect to be held accountable if I break the law. And I expect the same for everybody else, you know what I mean? And if it's a right of ours to go in the public building and record what our officials are doing, and you know, it's not normal because people aren't practicing their rights. They're too busy with work and life and kids, and you know what I mean? And that's how it's apathy, and that's how, you know, stuff happens. Apathy. We just don't look anymore, don't care, and it affects everybody. I tell people I'm not out here looking at that lady or at you. I'm looking at government and whole, you know. And one story I love to use is there was a fire chief in Alabama. He was a fire chief for 30 years in Alabama, and he retired. The city mismanaged their budget. His pension was cut. He ended up freezing to death because he couldn't afford heat in his apartment. So if someone would have been up in his town, pulling public records, making sure, you know, those guys weren't pilfering out of the till, he might still be alive. He might still have his pension, you know. So everything that each and every person does is all interconnected some way, you know. So we want to live the best life we can. We want to, you know, if we're in a society, we want to obey the rules, and we want to make sure that everybody obeys the rules, and not get special privileges or special, you know, exceptions and stuff like that. You know, I was in Nassau County, Florida, which is right just above Jacksonville, and I walked into a building department, and on their wall they had a sheet of paper, and it said the 11 commandments of public service, and it was the most beautiful. It almost made me cry because basically it said, you're here for the public is your boss, whatever you do, you're doing for them, you know what I mean? And just right down the line of the way it should be. Those people were so nice in that office. Smiles. Hey, how you doing? Check out our facility, you know. I had a police chief, Live Oak, Florida. He took me in the back. He said, this is your house. I'm just renting it out, you know. He took me all through the back, and you know, some people get it, and then other people have, you know, oh, this is my office, and you know, this is my space. And you can't do that here.
I understand. Well, we are, you know, we work for the public.
Right,
That's
yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, anybody, you know, getting public funds.
10-4. But
Listen, I don't have to wait on her. I'm done in here. I'm gonna get out of your guys' way so they can get back to business. Unless this young lady needs to talk to me.
$13 less.
Oh, okay, she's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to sit here and bother them all day, and I got other stuff to do. But